Let's be honest, this season isn't easy for everyone. We hear songs about joy, peace, and family, stores filled with lights and carols, yet behind the music, many hearts ache. For some, the holidays mark the first year without a loved one at the table. For others, it's a reminder of distance, conflict, or loneliness. Even those surrounded by people can feel alone inside. You might scroll through pictures of smiling faces and feel a quiet ache, wondering why your heart doesn't match the joy you see. If that's you, you're not alone. And you're not less spiritual because you hurt. The holidays can be painful, and God knows that. In fact, He moves closer to those who suffer. Today we will look at two passages that reveals His truth. First, a psalm written by a man running for his life. Then a letter written by an apostle who knew suffering deeply. Together they teach us how God meets us in the chaos and gives us peace that holds even when the holidays hurt. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." It sounds comforting, but it came from one of David's darkest moments. David wrote this psalm after escaping from King Saul. Saul had turned against him out of jealousy. David lost his home, his position, his friends, and his safety. In 1 Samuel 21, David fled to Gath, enemy territory, pretending to be insane so the Philistines wouldn't kill him. It was humiliating. He had to go from hero to fugitive overnight. Imagine that, the man who killed Goliath, now drooling on himself to survive. That's the background of Psalm 34. It wasn't written in comfort. It was written in fear, shame, and exhaustion. The Hebrew word translated close means to draw near or to come alongside. God doesn't watch pain from a distance. He steps right into it. Broken-hearted literally describes a heart shattered into pieces. Crushed in spirit pictures someone pressed down until the breath feels gone. David is saying, when I lost everything, God came close enough to hold me. That's not poetic exaggeration, it's testimony. Maybe your version of Gath is in a hospital room, an empty house, or a memory you wish would fade. You might feel like you are pretending through the holidays, trying to appear fine so others won't worry. David's story reminds you that God doesn't need your performance. He meets you in the mess. Notice David didn't say, "The Lord fixes the brokenhearted quickly." He said, "The Lord is close." Sometimes God's greatest gift isn't the solution, it's His presence. When the pain doesn't lift, His nearness becomes your peace. Now let's look into 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. Paul writes, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of our comfort, who comfort us in all of our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble." Paul wrote this letter after one of the hardest periods of his ministry. In chapter 1, verse 8, he says, "We were under great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure, so that we despaired of life itself." He knew deep exhaustion and fear. Corinth was a difficult church, divided, worldly, and critical of him. Yet right at the start of this letter, Paul opens with praise. Why? Because even in suffering, he had experienced the steady comfort of God. The word comfort in Greek, paraklesis, means to come alongside and strengthen. It is the same root used for Holy Spirit, the parakliti, the helper. I hope I'm not messing up the Greek too bad here. God's comfort is not a soft pillow. It's a sustaining strength. It doesn't remove the problem. It gives courage to stand in it. Paul repeats the word comfort 9 times in just 5 verses. That repetition tells us how real it was for him. He had been comforted, and now he wanted the Corinthians to know the same comfort. Paul shows a cycle. We suffer. God comforts us. We use that comfort to help others. Your pain can become someone else's healing. The peace you receive can flow through you to others who are hurting. When God meets you in your loneliness, you can sit with someone else in theirs. When He steadies your grief, you can offer hope to those just beginning theirs. That's how divine comfort multiplies. Both David and Paul point to Jesus, the ultimate comforter. Isaiah 53 calls him a man of sorrows, familiar with suffering. He knows pain firsthand. Think of his life. Born in poverty, misunderstood by family, betrayed by friends, abandoned on the cross. He entered our pain so that when we cry to someone who understands. When we talk to Jesus about grief, you are not explaining something foreign to him. You're talking to the one who wept at Lazarus' tomb, who felt rejection, who knows loss. Hebrews 4:15 says, we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses. He gets it. And because he gets it, his comfort is not theoretical, it's personal. That's why faith doesn't erase emotions, it anchors them. You can cry and believe at the same time. You can question and still trust. You can hurt and still hold on to peace. Don't pretend. God can handle your honesty. David cried out, Elijah complained, Job questioned. God listened to all of them. You might pray something as simple as, God, this season is hard. Meet me here. That prayer opens a space for healing. Peace isn't found in control, it's found in awareness. When anxiety rises, whisper Psalm 34:18. Say it out loud if you have to. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Let that truth interrupt the lies of loneliness. Isolation makes pain louder. Paul said that God comforts us so that we can comfort others. Reach out to someone, even if it is just with a simple text or call. Join a small group, volunteer, invite a friend for coffee. If you can't find someone, start by praying for someone who might need comfort too. God often heals us while we are helping others. The people who bring most hope are often those who've suffered deeply. When you share how God met you, it gives others permission to believe He can meet them too. You don't need to have all the answers. Just be present. Sometimes comfort is as simple as listening. Healing rarely happens fast. David's journey from cave to crown took years. Paul's trials didn't end quickly either, but through every step, God was shaping them. If your healing feels slow, it doesn't mean God has forgotten you. It means He's walking with you at your pace. The series we are in is called Peace in the Chaos, and that's not just a title, it's the gospel. Peace isn't the absence of noise, it's God's presence in the middle of it. When Jesus was born, peace entered chaos. The world was under Roman oppression. Mary and Joseph were poor, displaced, and rejected at the inn. The first Christmas was not shiny, it was messy. Yet, at that manger, surrounded by darkness, angels announced peace on earth. That peace was not based on circumstances, it was based on presence. The same Jesus who brought peace into the stable brings peace into your story today. He doesn't wait for the chaos to come. He stepped right into it. If this season brings pain, you don't have to hide it. God draws near to those who are honest about their need. You may feel crushed in spirit, but you're not beyond His reach. You may not see how peace could ever return, but it's already on its way because He promised to be close. Maybe your prayer today is small. God, I need you to hold me. That's enough. He's not expecting strength from you. He's offering strength to you. And as He comforts you, He will prepare you to comfort someone else. Your tears today can become someone else's hope tomorrow. Remember the pattern: pain, presence, peace, purpose. That's how God works. As we end this message, take a deep breath. Think of a place in our life that still hurts. Now picture God right there, not far away, not disappointed, but close. That's where peace begins. We are now moving to the discussion part of our service. This is the space where faith becomes personal, where we get to talk, listen, and learn from one another. If today's message is stirred something new, don't rush past it. Take this moment to share, to ask questions, or to just sit with others who may be walking through the same kind of pain. Peace grows when we share our stories. So let's talk about what this message means for you right here, right now. If you're watching online and haven't joined the live discussion yet, we would love to have you with us. Read the description below, learn how to join live and be part of our live community. You don't have to process your pain alone. We are here for you. And don't miss next week's message in our Peace in the Chaos series, Gratitude That Changes Everything. We'll talk about how gratitude can shift your focus, heal your heart, and open a space for God's peace to flow no matter what's happening around you. So stay with us, invite a friend, and let's keep growing together.
And welcome back. I would like to ask for my panelists to start turning on your cameras so I can introduce you. And by the way, when I go like this, the descriptions below is because people will be watching on YouTube later. So that's why I already have uh, the description below. It's not here because there is nothing below right now, but it's for the people that are watching online. So, a few things that I like to share with you for those that have joined us a little bit later, and for those that are joining for the first time. Let me tell you what this space is and what this space is not. This isn't here to replace your in-person local church. It's here to help you grow. But whether this is your main place of worship, or just a step back momentarily, or something for you to try on the waters, you are welcome no matter what. But I just want to make sure that we're not trying to take you away from your in-person community, okay? This is a safe space to bring your doubts, questions, and real stories. People join us from many backgrounds. We listen, we respect, and love, even when we disagree. Only the panelists can speak because we made it in a way that instead of being a Zoom meeting that everybody can tuning. Once you get more than like 8, 10 people, it gets too confusing and somebody forgets to mute and gets difficult to talk. So we decided to do a webinar where in a webinar, only the panelists can participate. But this is not my church. This is our church. And I want everybody to participate. So if you wanted to be part of the panel, just send me a text and I schedule people in different weeks, okay? Above all, I want you to feel seen, loved, and closer to God. That is our purpose. Now, there's something that helps us start the conversation and understand, just have an idea where we are. And this is being part of answering this poll here. So give me just a second because I have to do something interesting here so the panelists can participate. But I will ask you guys, I'm going to give you like 3, 4 minutes. And I would like for you to answer the questions on the poll. This will help us guide our conversation. So the first question is, how do you usually feel during the holiday season? Joyful, stressed, lonely, mixed of feelings. I am sure this is going to be all over the place because people feel different feelings. Let me see here. If you guys can start participating, because I can see here when you guys start doing this. Question number 2. Thank you, Terry. What part of the holidays bring you the most pressure? Is it family expectations, finances, memories of loss, business? Question number 3. Have you ever felt disconnected or sad while others seem happy during the holidays? I'm sure this is going to be very mixed feelings here. Number 4, when life gets hard, what do you tend to do first? Pray or read the Bible, talk to someone, distract yourself, distract myself, shut down and stay quiet. Number 5, which word best describes what you need most this season? Peace, hope, rest, connection. So far, connection is winning. Do you find it easy or difficult to talk about your pain with others? Easy? Somewhat difficult? Very difficult. Number 7, have you ever felt God's comfort during a painful time? Most people is saying yes. Let's see how it finishes. We have a few more people that started but has not finished. Number 8, what is one thing that makes it harder to feel God's peace during the holidays? My circumstances, my thoughts or worries, relationships, or feeling distant from God. So, as you are finishing answering, I would invite you to make sure you answer all of the questions. Make sure you answer everything. And there's one question, one person that is still answering, and we're going to finish. Yes, we finished. So I'm going to end the poll. And I'm going to see the results here because this will guide us in our conversation. And now I'm going to ask my wonderful panelists that have joined today to introduce themselves. We're going to do this in, okay, I was going to say alphabetical order, but Josh, I don't think we can do alphabetical order with your name there. Okay, I'm just going to call you guys out. So let's do this. Your name, what you do, and one word that describe how you feel regarding the holidays. Leah, starts with you.
I'm Leah. I currently am an employee at Chick-fil-A, but I'm also in college to be a respiratory therapist.
Awesome.
And the holidays are just very stressful.
Stressful. Okay, I
Yes.
think a lot of people can relate. Jenny,
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm also a student. I'm a student in early childhood education. And one word to describe the holidays is, I think, in between underwhelming and overwhelming.
got it. Got it. Joshua,
Hi, my name is Joshua. I'm a student at NC State University and the holidays. I feel, I'd say indifferent about the holidays compared to regular day.
okay. Okay. Johnny,
What is up? I am Johnny. I'm a mortgage loan officer in Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina. And I can't believe no one said this yet. Hunger. Dude,
oh,
there's holidays, food. Oh my gosh. I think of Christmas, food, 4th of July food, hunger. Easy.
got it. Got it. Antonio,
Hi, I'm Antonio. I'm also in Greenville. I'm an electronics technician, and a word for the holidays, excitement.
excitement. That's awesome. And my friend, Pastor Neat.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yes, I am a pastor. I've been pastoring for a while, but and my name is Neat. Last name is Randria Mialison for anyone who wants to try that. And guys, holidays for me, I don't know how to put it in one word, but it's like not enough people. I love people and I want more people, but usually family just want to be better. Just family, just family. And it's always been like that, high school, college, even when I have my own family, it's like I want more people, I want more people, and people are like, nah, we just want to be us. So that's holidays for me.
Uh, I think we should make a competition and figure out who can say your name.
That should be good. Maybe by
That
the
would
end of
be fun. Share with us where you're from.
who can
Neat.
guess? Let's try if they can guess.
Can anyone guess where he is from?
Someone might guess.
Terry said
Someone's
Mexico.
in Mexico. No,
He's from an exotic
Mexico.
place. That's why I thought it was interesting to share with you all. Any guesses?
Johnny unmuted himself. Let's see if
Yeah,
Johnny has
I
a
had a
good guess.
I don't know. I want to say like crap. Like, I don't know. Maybe you have like Asian, like
Zim-
Thailand heritage, Thai
No,
heritage. No?
Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe.
Thailand. No.
So check this out, guys. I am originally from Madagascar.
Yes. And it's not just a movie, it's a real
That's
place.
right. That's right. My cousin King Julian is nah, just kidding.
I know. So Pastor Need and I, we met through a class we were taking together. So as you can see, I'm bringing all of my friends from my doctorate degree. So as you know, my concentration in my doctorate is in mass media ministry. So I have all of these experts on this, and I bring them to give me feedback and tell me, hey, what do I need? What am I doing here? So I get so excited when they get to participate because they can give me feedback and say, hey, this is doing well. This is what we can do better. Yeah, we have a group they're doing amazing work in communication and things like that. Right now, Pastor Neat works in Reno as the
Yeah,
communication director for the Reno,
Nevada, Utah.
Nevada, Utah conference, but he is transitioning to work at is it Silver Springs,
Yeah.
Maryland? Yes,
Colombia, Maryland. Yeah.
Colombia. Yes. And what is your position gonna be? I forgot.
The associate director for professional services at the uh North American divisions. Yeah.
Got it. Yes, so a lot of transition and great things happening. So this is what I'm gonna be looking at the poll here so we can start our discussion. And by the way, even though we have the panel here that can actually unmute and talk, this is not just for the panelists. I would love to hear from the chat. So please don't hesitate to comment, to say something on the chat. Okay, everyone is welcome, and I'm so glad to see everybody that is here today. Okay. Oh, Antonio. Did I forget Antonio? No, I did. I did not forget Antonio. Where is Marcos? He's talking to us, but I don't see him in the panel. Marcos, are you hiding from me? Can you guys see Marcos? I don't see Marcos. Marcos, I did not mean to ignore you. Did he come in as a guest? Yes, he's a guest. Marcos, do you want to go to the This is so funny. Okay, he can't be in a panel. He was in the panel. He dropped off and he came as okay because in the car, too many people. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you guys some of the answers that we got from the poll, and then we're gonna talk about it. How do you usually feel during the holiday season? And the majority, but I mean the great majority, set is a mix of emotions. So I wanted to start maybe with Johnny. Johnny, I love to start with you. You know that. He's already prepared every time. You were so excited when you said hungry food. but other people were overwhelmed and stressed. Why do you think it's such a crazy mix of emotions?
Well, think about this here. We have to think very deep here for a moment. Hunger may be a symptom of stress.
Oh, that's true.
Look at that. Look at no, that's a far reach. That's a far reach. No, I mean, I think that's tough, because you have to look at culture. Not every culture celebrates a holiday in a similar way. In my case, I'm Hispanic. For us, holidays are peak moments. These are moments where there's a lot of loud music, and everyone sets their differences aside, and we're just focused on playing games and having fun. And not every culture observes their holidays in the same way. There's some cultures that are much more quiet and relaxed, and family centered, and depending on what the holiday is and what the culture is, I think could lead to different experiences. But of course, family dynamics as well. Are you spending your, for those of us who are in a stage of life where we have, a wife or a husband or a partner, are we spending the holidays with our in-laws? Are we spending our holidays with our own, nuclear biological family? So, given how wide and different a holiday could be for someone based on demographic, the people that they're spending it with, the culture, it could explain why we see lots of different responses. But I do stress eat a lot, and that's why I think of hunger and but it's a good time. It's always a good time.
No, you are absolutely right. Eating can be a side effect. Eating a lot, eating more than we should, stress eating, can be absolutely a result of how stressed we are. That is absolutely true. By the way, if anybody wants to also answer the same question that maybe I just asked Johnny, just raise your little hand there, the little hand. You can also answer the same question. It doesn't have to be one person. I just try to call a name, so either no one jump in or everybody jumps in and nobody can understand what is being said. But feel free to raise your little hand or put it in the chat. Let's continue the conversation going. uh what part of the holidays bring you the most pressure? Again, the big answer was family expectations. This week I spoke to my sister, and unfortunately, I already had the ticket. I already bought the ticket to go to Brazil to spend the holidays with my family. And then there was a few things that happened that I'm not going to be able to go anymore. And my sister was like, you know what? It's better. Come in another time. That is not a holiday. You don't feel the pressure to have to be in places. And I didn't even think about that, but it's true. Um, Let me see, Jenny, what do you think about this? Why do we allow the pressures to build so much?
I think it's different for every family. Every family is based on different mindsets, on different things that they do and they expect of each other. And I feel like especially if you're maybe a family who's not constantly with each other, the expectations can be different. For example, I live with my parents, so I see them every day. I see them constantly. But who I think about is my brother, who is farther away in college, and how he may feel when he comes home and he expects all these questions. He's gonna hear, "Oh, how have you been? What have you been doing? How are your grades?" Um, all of those expectations, they may trigger like, "Oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming to think about having to answer all of these things." Now, on the other side, I see family expectations also in the way emotionally, because sometimes during holidays, those family expectations are set and you expect so much from the people who you love, and then sometimes you get disappointed in the way that they act or in the way that they are during those family functions. I feel like there's always something happening at these, like anything that has to do with the family, at Christmas, at Thanksgiving, something always ends up happening that can make or break relationships, especially with your families. And I feel like sometimes that's what causes so much stress and so many emotions during the holidays as well.
Yes, yes. And the overall, go ahead, Johnny, go ahead.
You triggered something there, Jenny, that I haven't. felt in a long time. And I'm sure some of the guys here might be able to understand and relate. The pressure of going to a Christmas or going to a Thanksgiving and knowing that your grandparents are going to be there, and you being a young single man knowing they're going to ask, so do you have a girlfriend yet? Or do you have a special lady friend yet? And you know that you have to say, no, not yet. And they look at you like, come on, you're my head. No, man. Jenny, you triggered that in me. And
Johnny is prepared for this holiday season.
my
Johnny's
first
like,
year,
Johnny's
we
like,
made it.
please ask me this question, please.
Yes. No pressure. No more pressure. It is all gone.
No, now you want them to pressure you. Now you wanted to like, please ask me about my relationship status. I know. So happy for you, Johnny. So the third one is, have you ever felt disconnected or sad while others seemed happy during the holiday? I'm gonna ask this to Joshua. Most people said yes. How do you Josh is like, do I want to answer this? Oh, by the way, if this is an answer that you're like, you know what, I don't have any experience with this, this is fine. We are not experts here, okay? We share what we have experience with. That's it. If you don't have an experience, I can go to the next person. So, Joshua, most people, I would 70% of the people said that they felt sad and disconnected while everybody else felt happy, looked at least as they were happy. Why do you think that is?
Hard to answer. I feel like I do have an answer, but this connection, I feel like you can't blame other people for it. It's usually something within the self. That's what I somewhat believe in. It's sometimes a struggle to feel emotions or feel like you're expected, pretty much. You have that pressure of expectation to have a happy vibe around you. And sometimes, whenever people around you don't embrace the fact that you're not in your best condition, they're left in a deeper hole than they were before. So I'd say that usually the reason that people feel unhappy within the Christmas holiday season is because no one's acknowledging their current status and just sugarcoating it over with, oh, they're just not comfortable around. They might actually be sad or they might be emotionally absent because they feel dismissed within their emotions and everything else. So, um, interestingly enough, there was a quote that I read like a couple days ago, and it says that the antidote to negativity isn't positivity, it's warmth.
Mm, I like it.
Positivity would be the quote, positivity would be something along the lines of, you don't have to be sad because you don't have a reason to be. And warmth would be asking somebody to go grab some ice cream. So just
I
the
love
subtle
that.
gentleness. Yeah.
I love that. It's just that, like, instead of if they come to you and make you feel like something's wrong with you because you're not happy, you should be happy. It's the holidays. Everybody's happy. Why aren't you happy? And you start
Mm,
questioning yourself, is there something wrong with me?
right.
But just like understand that the person may just be going through something, not ready to be there yet. Hey, let's have ice cream together. I'm here with you. Oh, so deep. I love it. I
Thank you.
really, really, really love it. Okay. By the way, guys, like I said, anybody jump in anytime. Yes, Terry said pretty deep response, and Marcus took stream of the same issue. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, Leah, when life gets hard, what do you tend to do first? You don't have to, actually, by the way, this is not to ask for you to answer. We're going just through like the majority of people said this. Why do you think it is? So, okay, so this answer here was quite divided. We had 33% say that they go to pray and read the Bible. 33% said distract myself. And then the other two, 17 and 17%, was really divided. Talk to someone and shut down and stay quiet. So we are all over the place with our responses of why do we do that?
I think it really depends on the person and kind of how they react to certain situations. Um, for me, I'm the kind of person that just kind of gets quiet and just sits in a corner and I'm like, all right, this is where we're gonna chill out for the rest of the evening. Um, or just in general. I'm trying to get to that point where I'm like, I gotta go pray, gotta talk to my father and figure out like what else is going on and not just what I think might be going on because he's trying to show me something or something's happening. And it just depends on the person, I think, a lot with that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it depends on how were you wired. For me, with my crazy background, I have this fight or flight reaction, and not to do that. So the fight or flight, it's a default mechanism. You don't even realize you're doing that. So, like I mentioned to you guys before, for those that come more often to the online church, first I try to fix it. First I try to do something, then I remember, oh God, oh, I could have come to God first, you know? So I'm trying to realign my mind to come to Christ first, you know? Now I'm not going to skip. I have two sets of questions, by the way. I prepared the questions ahead of time because I know when I get here, I blank. Pastor Neat, go.
Yeah, I just want to chime in with what you just said earlier because
Mhm.
that's really I feel like I can identify with that too. It wasn't really in the answer as an option, I think, but for me it's more like I just want to fix this. Like I just want to I'm gonna take this head on. Like I don't know that's just the way I react. And I feel like it takes longer for me to actually get to where God wants me to be because of that. And maybe it's just me, but it's like God waits until I fail in the way I fix it. It's like, and I'm in pain, and I'm like, man, what is this? Why is it going like this? And it's like he puts me like, okay, now are you ready for me to take care of it? And then I'm like, okay, okay, okay. You take care of it.
Are you going
But
to listen?
that's
Are you going to listen to me now? Are you ready?
yeah.
Yeah. If everyone here heard me last week, this is the reason why I invite the pastors that I invite, because the pastors that I invite here, they're real. We are not trying to save face here and pretend like, oh, when I have a problem, I immediately do like all of the steps that, and it's not for you to think of a pastor less than, but to see that pastors are normal people just like you, and we can come closer to, because what happens a lot is this. Sometimes a young person that is broken, that is hurt, they look at a pastor and they look at churched people and they think, I am not like them. I'm going to stay away from these people because they're going to judge me because I'm never going to be like them, because they have this idea that we got it together. We already, oh, we have arrived, you know, and I wanted to come out and say, hey, we have not. We are broken like everybody else. And not only as pastors, but as Christians. And at the same time that we wanted to get better, we are learning, sharing the experience so others have hope. Make sense? Let me read here quickly what Terry wrote here. I chose pray, read the Bible, but there is an option that wasn't there that applies more to me first before going to God. I feel stumped and unable. Am I reading this right? Stumped and unable to process. This is why I end up in prayer ultimately. Yes, I get it. And as you all know, English is not my first language. Sometimes I may not read something correctly, and that's why I prepare myself ahead of time with all of the questions here ready, because otherwise I get lost. But yes, we all have a different way of reacting. And you know what is awesome? God accepts all of them, and He's patient, and He takes the time. Like I said in the sermon, sometimes things are not happening in the speed that we ask, but it's because God knows us and He knows that some people He goes faster, other people He goes, no, let me give some time because this child of mine needs to learn something else at this moment. Okay. Let me see here. Antonio, in the question, which word best describes what you need most this season? The biggest percentage, 70%, said connection. How weird is it that we are in the most connected phase of the world, that the history of the world? However, we feel the most disconnected. Antonio, what are your thoughts?
I feel like despite there being so much connection in the world through technology, we've lost what I would say real life connections, like personally, verbally, because I would say in times past, since there wasn't any like Zoom calls or FaceTime calls, the only way people could connect with each other was in person. And so everything was more, I would say, perhaps more genuine, um, something that was more appreciated since it was rarer. Like perhaps you could see somebody only once a week at church instead of like every day, like on a story or a message or just a quick text. It has become, I guess, each time you see a person nowadays, it's more, I guess it would be common thing now that it loses its value over time. And so, in regards to the holidays, um, I guess having everybody trying to show a side that's not really them, something that we also see in social media. For example, on Instagram posts, it's all a facade, and like everybody just shows the what would say quote unquote the best side of them, and it could be that by the time like for families, it's just hard to try to find common ground, or oh, I have to appear to be somebody that I'm not, or like for example, if a family member is going to be like, oh, how's work, or do you have a job, do you have a significant other, you feel this pressure to put on a facade.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Joshua,
Um, this might have no relevancy to do with that, but
it came to your mind.
um,
That's fine.
yeah, the thought of like conformity hit me,
Mm.
especially for people that are super young. Like, I'm not super young. I'm like 18 now. So I'm still in the younger end, but
You're
like
super young
teenagers.
to me.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, teenagers. Um, we teenagers, we have a desire to conform to an extent. Like, example, this is like the most obvious example, but like, let's just say there's a trend. You have to know it and you have to get the reference, or people are going to be like, oh, this guy's not onto the new stuff. And they immediately can't relate to them as much. And that leads to distance. And I think that leads to people, I guess, pushing themselves away from being connected with others by putting on this, I don't know, generalized, catered version of themselves to other people. Um, yeah.
I agree. I agree. And I think that does create this connection too. So I think it is connected because it's that need to, it's both of what you guys said, Antonio and Joshua. It's like that uh, need to be part of the trend, conformity and comparison. And instead of connecting us, it's disconnecting us. That's why I think it's so important to have things like, as much as listen, this idea of the online church was born out of God's heart because I never thought about doing this. And then I was like, I never thought it would work. But once I start seeing the people that are reaching, I see how important this is. So I love this. I absolutely love this. But this is not a substitute for that hug when you see that person that you like. Like last week, I was a little frustrated because last weekend we had this big event, and the majority of the people that are part of our online church, the core team that helped me, they were there. So it was like an online church reunion. And I was so busy with the event that I didn't even get to take a picture or spend time with them. But spending, like, after getting to know each other, when we see each other, it's so awesome. And even if it's not, let's say, we have to look at the good sides of social media and communications too, because like I live in the United States for 30 years. And for the first 20 years, I had almost no communication with my family. How many here remember, if you guys have family abroad, that you had to buy a little business, not business card, calling card? It was super expensive to call another country. So basically, the time that I had with my family was so short. And now I speak to my sister every single day. That is awesome. That is a technology that was like an improvement, and it was awesome. But we also have to acknowledge how much the comparison game, the conformity, and all of that have disconnected us. So knowing that, what we have to do, we need to be intentional, and sometimes I am not going to crucify video games and stuff like that, but sometimes let go of the video game and go and meet somebody in person. I wanna catch up with, before we go to the next question, let me catch up with the chat here. And I think Pastor Jeremy has answered this for when we were talking about like what do you do when when you are overwhelmed, frustrated. He said, man, look, I always try to fix things myself first, even when I know in my heart I should be vulnerable with God. My wife calls me on it and centers me back up. Isn't it wonderful that God gives us the our other half to guide us back? Marco said, and I think this was the next question, which was about connection that we just did. There's a lot of connection options, but not a lot of connections. Ooh. Yes, an overwhelming influx of options does not equip us to choose more efficiently or effectively. Let me tell you something. The guys who may not understand this, but you can replace with a different store. But does anybody here know Alta? The girl said yes. The guys are like, okay. Alta has about 1 million choices for everything makeup related that you can imagine. For somebody that didn't know how to put makeup until a couple of years ago, I don't know what I get there. I get so overwhelmed by the choices that I think I'm the only woman that gets out of there with nothing because I don't know. I can't make up my mind. And I think it's the same thing that is happening with us. It's too many options that we don't even know where to begin, where to go. But being intentional will help. Pastor Jeremy said, we are connected to lots of people and share with and in their experience, but we lack in connection with people who can truly support us mentally, physically, and spiritually and emotionally. So true. I think that's it. My son said, okay, mom, fine. I think he was talking about the video game. Yeah, play a little video game, but get out and do things in person too. I will lay off the video games. I think it's also worth recognizing that that's Bruno too. That we see the people at our job more than our family. It's true. Cameron says I was a major gaming addict, but in back in the day, yeah, it's hard to let go. Yep, yes, truth. Well, I think the good thing is recognize so we can be intentional and do something about it. I feel like I've been talking forever here. Let's see. The next question was, do you feel it easier or difficult to talk about your pain with others? I want to ask this to Pastor Neat. Pastor Neat, 70% of the people say it's somewhat difficult. We had 25% saying it's easy and 8% saying very difficult. Your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Was there an option that says very easy?
No,
No.
that was not.
Yeah, in like we said earlier, guys, I think this is like it depends on the person, depends on each personality and things like that. But sounds neat, Cameron says. But
Yeah, he does have a radio personality voice.
so
Go-
so for me, sharing my pain, right? It's I would say somewhat difficult. especially as a pastor, guys, somehow people expect that we don't have feelings. We don't have we don't have go through we don't go through some stuff too. And it's like if you share, you don't know who to share with too, because sometimes people will just put you like, oh no, they're weak, or they're things like that, or they and so it since I became a pastor, it became a little bit hard, but I've learned to find some people that actually we call them real homies, where you can where you can actually talk to them and just know that they're not going to judge you, that they're not going to they're not going to just put you down for what you just shared with them. Now it's very hard to find people that are actually real. And and, and I'm happy that I found few people here and there that, yeah, someone says find your tribe, but it's very hard to find someone that is real, that actually, can just listen to you. But man, yeah, find your people, and don't be worried about not being real with those people that actually can take it. One thing I just want to say this really quick, Chris, if it's okay, Pastor Chris, it's one of those things. Um, my personal ministry, guys, my ministry as a pastor is revolves around this word right here. You have to be real. You have to be real with God. You have to be real everywhere. Because this is my favorite sentence that I always put in my sermons. It's like, God cannot save the person you pretend to be, because the person you pretend to be is a persona that you create. But unfortunately, when it comes to pain, we can't. It seems like, who am I gonna be real with? And I just pray, man, that everyone will find at least few people here and there that will find a tribe that they can be real with, because putting up a persona just for the sake of surviving in an environment can be tiring. Yeah.
Write the quote, because I was reading and I missed the quote, and I want to know what the quote that you just said.
Oh, God cannot save the person you pretend to be.
Yeah, no, I heard that. That was so good. That was so good.
Yeah.
I love it. Joshua, you raised your hand for a little bit. Did you want to say something?
Not really anymore.
Oh.
Miss Pastor Nee took it right out of my mouth, so I'm good now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So let me read a little bit here of the chat. Terry said that finding your tribe, that is so important. And from what Pastor Neat was saying, uh, find that people that are safe. Now, you're going to be disappointed with people, but don't give up in looking for the people that are safe, because God will put safe people in your path. It may be hard to find. Out of the millions of people, you may find two or three or four, but there are people. So don't give up on the human connection, because you need it. And it was God who created church. It was God who created community. We have this tendency of thinking, oh, religion was made up by humans. No, it was not. It was messed up by humans. It was God who created church. It was God who created community. Uh, it was kind of revamped by Jesus when he came, and was messed up again by humans. By our time, it's a mess. But go back to the Bible, go back to scriptures, look at what God is telling you, and find your tribe, the people that believes in God. And they are, even sometimes the doctrines could be different, but the essence, the DNA, the mission, the heart has to be in Christ. And then when you were like, but I was raised believing in this, it's not about what tradition or what my beliefs are, is what is in scriptures and in the heart of God that will help us, first of all, understand what is really coming from God and what is really coming from my opinion and my wishes, and then finding people that are safe for you to share your beliefs, your emotions, your whatever that is happening with you. Let me see here. Let me catch up here again. Marco said there is a difference of generations. Older generation ignore pain or act like it doesn't exist. Yeah, because for them, saving face was more important than anything else. But with the younger generation are more open to people to talk about it, because for the younger generation, vulnerability, transparency, it's more important than saving face. The thing is, we have to understand that it's not that the older generation are wrong and we are right. You see that I'm putting myself in the younger generation here, right? Anyways, but the point is, it's not that one is right, the other one is wrong. We need to understand the culture at the time. If you shared your vulnerability and what was wrong with you in the older generation, they looked at you as weak. You can't govern your house, you can't do things. So for them, it was important to save face. For us, showing our weakness, it's actually a good thing. So we have to understand where we are, and be able to be able to communicate with the different generations, understanding, putting ourselves in their shoes. uh Terry said that she craves finding people that are authentic. Let me see here. Terry finding Marcus said Terry finding authentic circle can make a whole world of difference. Yes, absolutely. Marcus says God will put safe people in your path, and while He sends them, make sure you are becoming a safe person too. Yes, it's a two-way street. Absolutely, absolutely important. Okay. I don't know exactly what happened here with Terry's comment. She is a toothless kitten. I'm gonna need to understand what that expression means. Oh, guys, me with my, I live in the United States for 30 years, and there's still a lot of expressions that I have no idea what it means. Okay, let's continue here. Did anybody wanted to say anything else? Because sometimes I start getting distracted and I lose track of looking at the screen here. Okay, we did this one. Have you ever felt comfort during painful times? I want to ask this to Antonio. And let me tell you, Antonio, praise the Lord, because 83% said yes. I don't know if there's much to comment on this one, but what are your take on this one? Have you ever felt God's comfort during a painful time? 83% of people said yes.
I will say I have been able to feel God's comfort in
Amen.
during low periods. Um, Sometimes this can manifest in the love that people around you give. I've been able to say recently, in the past few months, I've been able to feel that. Like there was times where I've prayed, like, Lord, like, help. I want to feel your love through the people.
Mm.
And when I least expected it, it was manifested through that way. So uh, it can be in the form of, receiving support and love from friends or strangers at a different place. Because, I mean, it's happened before, or in my situation, that's where it's been.
This is so hopeful, because even though we all feel like the holidays is stressful, the holiday for some people can be very lonely. Uh, Knowing that God, 83% of our people right here, right now, says that they felt God in those moments. So that's very hopeful. The other thing is very hopeful. It's what you just said, Antonio, that you ask God to show you this comfort through people, and it happened. And that is awesome, because a lot of times we feel God, but it's so hard to feel it from people. Anyone want to jump in this one? How is it for you? How has God comforted you? Have you been able to feel God's comfort through people, like Antonio just said?
So for me, it's this thing is always hard for me, especially because comfort is sometimes it's not like something tangible. It's not it's like a feeling and so how can I relate that to God who I haven't really seen physically too? So both are everything happens in here. And and so I don't really know how to explain it. I really struggled with this, especially in college. And that was 15 something years ago, but it's it's one of those things like nowadays it's more when I finally give everything away, and then and this might be weird, but somehow I can just sit down on a couch and just like relax and play video game. No, no, not scratch that last one. No, no, seriously, actually, when I just sit down, like I can finally like, wow, I don't have to worry about it. And so I don't have any fancy way of saying it or any formula. Like, oh, this happens and then this and then this and then this. It's more like, wow, I just have to let it go, says the famous song, Let It Go.
Let it go. That's right.
Yeah.
There is this is part of what I mentioned in the sermon, but Psalms 34:18 says that God is close to the brokenhearted. I absolutely love this psalm. Thoughts? While you guys are thinking on that, I'm going to read here. Here now, this is how he's comforting me today. Amen. This is how God is comforting Terry, she says. While interact with my spiritual family, my problems fade in the background. Praise the Lord. This is what makes us keep going. All of the work in the background to put this together, it's this is the reward for us. Amen, Terry, that we can be this for you. Marco says, God has definitely comforted me through my connections with you guys. The year I met Pastor Chris, Antonio, Johnny, and Jenny, I had just gone through the toughest loss of my life. Wow. Story for another time, which I know Marcus for, I think, about 3 years now. I have not heard of this story, but do you see how God is amazing? By the way, for those that are far, because right now we have people in Texas, Florida, uh, where else? Pastor Jeremy, I forgot where you are. I just met Pastor Jeremy this weekend. We spent a couple hours talking because we went to a conference where it was Tennessee. There you go. Where we were learning about evangelism and things like that, and we connected. And he told me where he was, and I already forgot. But anyways, we have people from all over the place. But for those that are far, there is a group of us in North and South Carolina that I go visit the different churches and I meet young people. And as I become friends with them, we are doing ministry together. And this is one of the ministries that we do together. This is not the only one, but we do other things together. But this group of young people became my support group. And my other support group is the squad, the little group that we have during our doctorate, the degree that we're doing with Pastor Neat and some other pastors that you guys will probably meet all of them because I was like, each one of them have to be in my online church. So their schedule every week is one of my friends from my class. So I really appreciate. Okay, I gave you guys some time to think on the God is closer to the brokenhearted. Thoughts on that? How does that make you feel?
Honestly, for me, it's like it hits so hard. Just the words, just the verse, it's just it's really hard, especially when you're struggling through so many things and you don't know how to like understand it, you know? This week has not been the easiest for me. I've been personally struggling and I feel like the message really hit me hard today. Um, and it just makes me feel very comforting. It gives me comfort in that time where I'm just feeling so brokenhearted and I'm feeling like I have nothing left in me, but I know that God is with me, and that despite all the troubles that I have, despite all the things that I'm going through, I know that He can get me out of those things.
Praise the Lord. And by the way, this is going to sound a lot like therapy, but doesn't this already helps us? Just doing this, just having this open conversation here, and I would say rehashing, is that the word? Just like putting it out and feel like, hey, I am not alone in the struggle. Not everybody's like me. Some people process, like some people think to talk. I talk to think. It's not that I don't think. Don't take me wrong, but I process. And I know Liam was like, eh. But when something really big happens, it helps me when I share, like I come to my husband, you're not going to believe this happened. Blah, blah, blah. And as I'm talking, sometimes I even realize that, hey, it wasn't that as bad as my brain thought it was, you know? Some people process by talking, some people process by crying, some people need a time away. But I do believe in part of the process. It's this. By the way, open mic now. I can attest that it is so very deeply true. He is near the brokenhearted. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Amen. David wrote the Psalms while hiding in fear. How does knowing his context change the way you read his words? Johnny,
Could you repeat that one more time? That was
David David wrote this psalm while hiding in fear. How does knowing his context change the way you read his words?
so this goes to the previous question. Okay, I
Mhm.
see. Oh, so I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So he was hiding out of fear. That makes it even much more deeper, quite
Wow,
frankly. Yeah.
right?
I mean, I'm gonna let that sit for a moment. That's very deep. I mean, I think that there's biblical precedent that the people who are most desperate or most in trouble or most in distress are the most receptive to the love of God. I know personally of many people roughly my age, my demographic, who they don't really care too much about God. They have other worries or other priorities. And then when they get in a really rough situation, whether it be in health or financially or even with the law, they are much more receptive to the messages that are out there, accessible every day, and just a question of, you know, the one phone search away, and they immediately become completely receptive to it. So, I mean, in the context of like we said, him being, fearing for his life, I think that could also be, metaphorically, we could relate to that metaphorically. I think each and every one of us at some point, if we have not already, um, are going to go through a similar, type of what's the word I want to use here, of desperation, whether it be for our own lives. Hopefully not, that's very extreme, but maybe an extreme financial situation where someone loses their job and they're in their final sense of their savings, or health when you're diagnosed with a very, very severe, potentially even terminal illness. You know, we may be in a similar situation to David metaphorically. And the beautiful thing is that if in David, when he was in these circumstances, because he was a human just like you and I, he was just a guy. He was not a god. At least our theology does not teach that he was a god. He was equal to us, and he attests that the Lord was there to bring him peace and to help him and get him through. So if the Lord would do that for David, why would he not do it for me? Why would he not do it for you? I think, and I have to remind my youth this with my group. I say, look, I know we read the Bible and we read about these grand figures, Abraham, Moses, the disciples, and we look up to them like they're these huge figures. But they were no different than you and I in the sense that they were born sinners. We all have the same potential, the same capabilities. Maybe our circumstances are a little different, but in terms of humanity, they're not more deserving or more powerful or more holy than us. So if the Lord was able to help them, why would he not be able to help us? That's very comforting to me.
Yes. Marcus wrote here, it's different when you see it not as David the king on the throne writing about God's nearness, but David the fugitive from murderous royal essentially had all of the necessary ads to catch him at some point. It makes so much more relatable. Yes, to think that while he was a fugitive, he's writing, God is near to the brokenhearted.
You
Go
know,
ahead.
there is something that I just saw it, guys, and I don't know if you guys are seeing it the same way, but it says the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, right? And it's just a declaration, um, meaning that actually in this context, David is reciting this. This is what he wants to experience. And the crazy thing is, it's true because even if you don't feel it, even if you don't see it or feel it, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. And I want you guys to remember that because I mean I'm reading it right now, and I'm reading the text, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's declaring a fact. It's a truth that he wants to remember during his hardest time. Like, hey, I'm running away, I'm caving, I mean this cave and all these things, but the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. And so there will be time when we're like, I don't feel it. I don't feel like is actually taking care of my feelings, and I'm struggling, but I don't see it, God. And that's when you're like, nah, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. and and because you say it out loud, because I say it out loud, man, I got chills right now, guys. I'm talking about this because I want to say it out loud too. Like, the Lord is close to me in my toughest time, even when I don't feel it.
Love it. I absolutely love it. It's so true. Sometimes it's like we know it in our mind, but it's hard to believe when we're going through that dark path. But here, David is reminding himself, saying the fact, speaking the truth, so he can comfort himself. And at some point, we can even believe that he felt it and it was true for him. This is amazing. And I think this is a beautiful note for us to end. If no one, does anybody else has any final remarks? No, Terry's like, no, don't go yet. Usually I try to finish by 4:30. Sometimes we go a little longer. It depends on how long the sermon goes. I am purposely giving enough time for our discussion because the feedback I'm getting is that this discussion has been helping so many people. So I try to not rush through it. Uh, let me see here. Terry says no. And Pastor Jeremy says there are times when God is silent. When he is silent, though, he is still very present. Yes, absolutely. I would, I would block. Terry said block our exits. Terry, you have a group of friends here, okay? There are a group of young adults that are part of my core group, which the pastors that I invite from other conferences, they are not part of my core group, but I have a group of about seven. And last week, I shared with them that I made a new friend that came from TikTok. And by the way, Terry, if you want more friends, I know they would love to connect with you as well, because they were all curious to know who is this person who came from TikTok. So they would love to also connect with you. Just send me a text and tell me. Definitely. Any final remarks? If not, I will. Yes, we would. Yes, everybody's saying we want to make friends. And by the way, this is not just for Terry, this is for everybody. Uh, so, with that, I wanted to invite everyone to join next week. Remember that the online church is by seasons. And we meet for 8 weeks, and then we take a break, and then we meet again. So the last one for this season is November 29. You will receive texts. Oh, by the way, did you see the text today? It didn't adapt with the change of time and told you guys that it was like 1:55, told you guys 5 minutes. I was like, wait, no. So I'm sure they will notice and try to. Pastor, oh yeah, Terry said Pastor Jeremy wasn't finished. I'm sorry. Oh, I think it was okay. It was a long response. Okay, but if you want to put it here, you can. I'm still giving some information here. So we meet by seasons. The last one is going to be the 29th. This is a space for young adults, and I believe not enough young adults know about this. So remember to share with people. I know it's a weird timing. I haven't found a better time yet. By the way, let me do a quick poll right here. If I did a little later, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturdays, put it here in the comments with yes or no. Put yes or no to go later or not. Because I was thinking, no. John is like, no. I just feel like sometimes we leave, most of us go to church on Saturdays and we leave church at 1 and then we have to rush to do this. I just thought that maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. I know, but your church, Johnny, is very, very busy and you guys have things AY at that time, so it wouldn't work. How about everybody else? Terry is flexible. Everybody else, the attendees, what do you think? Those in the chat. I want to hear from you. No, Bruno is fine. Pastor Jeremy, flexible. Nobody says yes. Okay, we're staying for 3 o'clock. I wasn't going to change for this season. I'm thinking about the next season, which is going to be after the holidays. But for now, love you guys. This has been wonderful. Next week, I wanted to see you again. Yes, little hearts. Terry, you're so sweet. Yes. I can never do that right. Do it again. It's like this. There you
I've been
go.
learning with my daughter,
Hey,
and I don't know how to do it. She thinks I'm
nothing easier than this one. This was wonderful talking to you guys, getting to know a little more. I hope to keep doing this over and over. I want to get to a point that I'm going to send a survey and ask you guys, should we do this every week? That's a possibility too. Some people love it. Some people say, no, let's keep it in the season. It's fine. I'll do it what you guys like to do. Let's see how we go. So thank you all. Blessings, kisses. Stay close to God. And we are here if you need. Bye.